Welcome to 15 Minute Theatre, the only review show that squeezes a whole production into 900 seconds. The date is Thursday the 1st of February 2018, and we've just been to see The Divide. Open the house. Hey Vicky.
Oh, hello there.
So, it's not Thursday the 1st of February.
It's not. This is the second one that we haven't done straight after the play. The second.
Oh, I don't know. I thought you were just going to say the date. You've confused me.
No, it's not. It's another day.
That's because we went to see The Divide.
We did go and see The Divide.
And it was very, very long.
It was very long. We should talk about this at great length.
I like it.
Yes, so both of us were too exhausted from all that watching
to
do it straight away.
Have you recovered now?
I still feel a little tired.
I'm a little tired myself. All right, so shall I tell you a little bit about it?
Yeah, you do it this time.
Oh no, I was just going to give you the information.
Oh no,
and
you're
then
going to make me do the synopsis again. Okay,
that's what we do.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so it was directed by Annabelle Bolton, written by Alan Ayckbourn. Alan Ayckbourn.
That's right, isn't it?
Yeah. And notable actors, Erin Doherty as Seween, and Jake Davis played Elihu.
Elihu.
And it was at the wonderful Old Vic.
Oh, we do love the Old Vic,
the Old
don't
Vic.
we?
Oh, yes. And it's running until the 10th of February 2018. And so it's quite a short run for such a long play.
I wonder whether their run has been cut short.
Oh, well, we'll get on to that.
Yeah.
So, Vicky, do you want to give us a little bit of a synopsis?
Gosh, so basically there's been some sort of plague disaster where all the men got infected.
I think it's fair to say that plagues are almost always a disaster.
There's been a massive plague disaster. So the men have, many of the men have died from the plague, but the women, it didn't kill them, they just became infected. So men and women have been divided by some holy man who decreed that they should live separately so that the women can't infect the men. So the men live north, women live south, and our focus is in a ladies' village where there's a boy and a girl growing up in the same house. Let's call them brother and sister.
Uh-huh.
There's an artificial insemination thing going on here.
But I think they are half brother and sister.
Yeah,
so
they are.
brother and sister.
So they're sort of coming of an age where he's going to have to go and join the men, and so their lives they're becoming teenagers. They're becoming almost sort of young adults, and it's focused about that and how their sort of very rigid society affects their lives. Is that a good synopsis?
It's pretty good. And it's a bit like The Secret Diary of Adrian Mole, except if you're a plague victim. Because it's both done through two diaries, isn't it? The boy's diary and the girl's diary.
Yes, exactly like The Secret Diary of Adrian Mole.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, crikey, it was long, wasn't it? What did you think?
Well, I have to say my main comment was it was much too long.
Yeah.
Much too long. Because originally it was supposed to be two plays, two parts.
Yeah.
Part 1 and part 2, which presumably were probably still about 3 hours long each anyway.
Uh-huh.
And I think it had quite bad reviews, so they cut it. But it was still, including the interval, it was about 4 hours.
Yeah. And much to our surprise, when we got there, just before it started, we were told that it wasn't a preview. It was now a dress rehearsal, because they hadn't managed to do a dress. Because it's so bloody long.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the dress rehearsal didn't affect it at all, apart from there was one bit where they had a bit of wobbly.
Well, they fell off the set, didn't they?
Yeah, and they had to stop it. But apart from that wasn't a problem. But, I mean, it was ridiculously long.
Yeah.
They could easily have cut an hour out of it. Easily.
Saying that, though, the seats are very comfortable at the Old Vic, but I wasn't bored. But I was at the end. I think that there was like an extra 25 minutes that you didn't need after the main bit at the end.
There was a really natural ending point, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And then they just carried it on for ages.
Yeah.
Just for kicks.
Yeah, and there was no need for that, so that was boring. But the rest of it, I mean, stuff happened, but not. It wasn't very dramatic, was it?
No, a lot of it at the beginning, a large portion of the beginning was set in quite a small space with very limited characters in it, and because they all sort of had to wear a uniform, the clothing was very dark. The women wore bonnets, the older women, so you couldn't tell who was who. So I found it a bit claustrophobic.
Well, it was in a black box as well, wasn't it? Everything was black, and they were wearing black, and they had black hats on, so all you could see was their faces, really.
Yeah, and they sort of blocked off half the stage for maybe the first hour or so, didn't they? Mm-hmm. So they were only in a very small part of the stage, and it just that bit went on too long, I thought.
Yeah.
There's a lot of explaining about stuff which could have been done a lot quicker. And
they didn't need to explain every little thing. We could have picked some of it up, surely.
I like to think we're not idiots. Maybe we are. There was a lot of unnecessary chit-chat, that's for sure.
What I was a bit confused about is what were they trying to say?
You really feel like it should. There's some sort of meaning.
Right, well, everything has meaning. My niece was in Little Shop of Horrors this week.
Yeah.
And the meaning of Little Shop of Horrors is don't feed the plants. Oh well, it's not. It's like don't be tempted by greed. So that's got a meaning. Grease, be a slut. You do all right.
I don't think everything does have to have a meaning.
Okay, well, this didn't really have a meaning. Well, it was Romeo and Juliet, I suppose.
Yeah, there was a Romeo and Juliet element in it, because men and women were not allowed to have physical contact over a certain age, were they, because of the infection?
Yeah.
So there were some star-crossed lovers.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't. Was there a meaning? No.
Not really.
But everything worked out in the end.
Should we talk a little bit about Serene, who played her again? Erin Doherty.
Yeah, she was really good.
She was brilliant.
So she was the main character, really, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Because Elihu, she was. I just thought she was a bit stronger than he was. I thought she was great. She was funny. She was sad.
I tell you what, there was a bit in it where she started reading secretly because they weren't supposed to read a load of books, and she started reading Jane Eyre, and I just thought she's just like Jane Eyre. But
didn't she think she was just like Jane Eyre as well? Did she?
Well, we all did then. Did you?
Yeah. And she mispronounced it, didn't she?
Oh yeah, what did she
say?
Jane
Eyre.
Yeah.
I'm reading Jane Eyre.
I mean, she was funny. Her character was nice and very likeable.
Yeah, and because obviously she started, I think she was 11 when it started.
9.
Was it 9?
That's why it was so long. They should have started at 11.
Yeah. Because obviously she was acting from her words she wrote from her diary.
Mm-hmm.
It was very sort of personal to her. The way that she looked at everything, the way that everything happened around her was through her view. And the same when Elihu.
Yeah. So it was so formulaic, wasn't it? So she'd come on and do a bit, and he'd come on and do a bit, and she'd come on and do a bit, and it just really plodded along.
Yeah, it did.
We grew up with them probably in about real time.
I do feel about 10 years older.
Exactly.
I think I look about 10 years older as well.
So we were there obviously for the dress. I think everything was done, but the lighting wasn't very good, was it?
Well, it was just. I just found it quite hard to see. I couldn't tell who was
the lighting not being very good.
I just couldn't tell who was who half the time. Partly because of the lighting, partly because of the stupid bonnets.
Yeah, they're all dressed exactly the same. And
do you know what? It was a bit like. Did you see the TV adaptation of The Handmaid's Tale?
Yes, yeah.
See, now they've all got costumes,
colourful ones.
But yeah, they've all got these. They're very strong and they're very. They could have done that.
It was very much on my mind, The Handmaid's Tale, and it's not the Divide's fault. It's not the play's fault that actually they've done something very good on that kind of style.
Yeah.
Because it was all about orthodox. They had an orthodox way, a very strict way of doing stuff. But it wasn't that strict, really. It was only when it went really wrong did they get strict. They were kind of easy.
Well, there was a strict. Serene's. So she had two mums. So one was her mama and one was her marpa, and her marpa was super strict the whole time. Yeah, I don't know. I
suppose so, but it was okay. It didn't bother me.
But I didn't fall asleep.
No, you didn't fall asleep.
So that's good.
There was also a little bit of singing, wasn't there?
Now this again was something that So there was quite early on. There was a reveal where you could see through a window at the back that there was a choir and a not a full orchestra, but some musicians. And then they shut them off again, and then we saw them again, like very briefly. And I kind of just thought, I found that a bit weird.
Now I think that choir was actually the ensemble cast. I don't think they just did those.
No, because they came out at the end, and there was a lot more of them.
Yeah,
so
but
that was
again,
the choir then.
I wasn't sure who was coming on and who was coming off most of the time. So,
do
you think it was a separate choir?
Yeah.
Then maybe all the choir bits got cut.
Because there were only 2 blokes, weren't there? Throughout the whole thing. No, 3 blokes.
No, 3.
And then at the end there were more blokes. So they were from the choir.
Oh, yeah?
So they came on at the end.
Oh, well, there you go. All right, so I don't think it's going to last in our memory forever, is it?
No, but I don't think it was awful.
No, but I think we were expecting it to be quite bad.
Well, the reviews were bad, weren't they?
Yeah, so I think it was a bit of a light relief, really.
I'd say it's better than the reviews. And bits of it were quite funny. People lolled.
I didn't hate it. There was a bit of lolling.
There was some lolling.
All right, well, should we take a break and then do the scores?
Sure thing.
Okay, so I've got some bad news, Vicky.
Oh no, what's your bad news?
We are going to wrap up our feature this month, or this week, or this time.
What, a water feature?
Yeah, well, This is going to be the last water you're talking about, because we're having sleepless nights with our conscience.
I haven't slept for weeks.
Yeah, because we don't want to destroy the environment anymore.
No, we don't. We don't want to use the single-use plastic bottle anymore. What we would like to do is to encourage theatres to let people take their own bottles in, or provide maybe paper cups.
But that makes for a really bad feature.
Yeah.
So we're not. So we're going to stop the water feature. But we've got something new that we're going to do next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I get very confused with the times because it's a bit random, isn't it? When we
are going next week.
Great, next week.
Yeah.
Great. So, how much was the bottle of water?
Well, the trendy Old Vic has, I believe, gone straight to the top of the leaderboard with £1.60.
Oh my lord! What a way to bow out, hey?
Yeah, but I'm wondering, why is the trendy Old Vic 10p younger than the trendy Young Vic? Surely they have the same.
It's going to be one of life's mysteries.
Yeah, we'll never know.
Never know. But that's a great way to finish. So, if you do want to go out and buy water when you're at the theatre, our recommendation is the Old Vic.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then don't go to the Phoenix Theatre or the Duke of York Theatre, because
it's £1.10 extra.
You can almost buy another bottle of water at the Old Vic for
I
that.
know, it's ridiculous.
Anyway, that's that.
Well, goodbye, water feature.
I'm going to miss it.
Oh.
I still have 3 spaces on my table.
Well, luckily we're so hydrated from drinking all that water that we can cry tears for it.
Right, okay, let's do the scoring. I better go first this week, haven't I?
Why?
Because did you go first last week?
I can't remember.
Nor can I.
You do it.
All right.
I like it when you go first.
Okay, performances. Well, I like the performances. I thought they were pretty strong.
Yeah.
But the central 2 I really liked. And the others were all right. So I'm just going to give it a nice strong 8.
I'm going to go an 8 as well. I think they were all pretty good. Sweden was excellent.
Great. Okay, staging and technical.
Well, not that impressed, to be honest. Partly because it was dress rehearsal. Like one of the very few bits of set that they had nearly fell over.
That was quite fun, though. That was quite... Because you could see them all running around at the bottom, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Looks like something's going to happen.
And the set was not impressive in any way. The lighting was poor. I'm going to go 5. Have you gone 5?
I've also gone for 5, yeah. Wow. We should get little scorecards.
But only you and I can see them.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a pointless waste of energy.
I suppose so. We
And
could tell people we've got them.
We could film them. Oh, no.
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 Okay, so I'm going to go first on narrative, plot, music. All rolled into one. Well, it was okay, but that was it. So I'm just going to give it a 7.
Well, is being too long part of this issue in this
I think
section?
So. Well,
it was just much
yeah.
too long. But, I mean, the idea was good. I don't know how original it was. I'm going to go for a 6.
Okay, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, and originality?
I think elements of it were very original. and elements of it really weren't.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go 7.
Yeah, I'm going to do a 7 as well. It's a kind of 7-ish sort of play.
Yeah.
And was it worth it?
Well, this is my dilemma. If it was a normal duration, I would say, yeah, go and see it, everyone. It's good.
Yeah.
But it's so ridiculously long, I don't know how much I would recommend it.
Yeah, and the problem is, it's so ridiculously long, even though it's been cut a lot, it could still be cut even more.
I reckon you
easily lose
an hour. And you could lose an hour. So I'm going to say... But the performances were good. I was engaged. I did laugh. Oh, man, this is a tricky one. I'm going to go 7.
I'm going to do a 7 as well.
Oh.
There we go. All right, so while I work out the scores,
Yeah.
do you want to tell the listener what we're going to see next
Now,
week?
what are we going to see? I believe we're going to see Young Frankenstein.
Oh, yes.
Which I haven't read anything about.
Have you seen the film?
Do you know what? I don't know. It's Mel Brooks, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think I've seen a bits of it, but I've never seen the whole thing. But then I don't think I loved when they did the producers on the stage. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. Well, the scores are in.
Exciting.
I can tell you it's got a star rating of 3.4.
3.4. Okay, I think that's fine.
I think it's fine.
I mean, if it was an hour shorter, I would say, yeah, definitely go and see it.
Well, you know what? It just puts it below Showstoppers, but above Wings and the Box of Delights. And I think that's pretty fair, really.
Yeah, it wasn't as fun as Showstoppers, was it?
Yeah, or The Exorcist. I mean, I think that score's pretty...
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm happy with this.
Maybe we're getting the hang of it.
I'm not sure we ever will get the hang of this.
Maybe not. Oh gosh, Vicky.
What was that? What was that noise in my ear hole?
It was a theatre bell.
Oh, not that damn
That
bell
means we're out
again.
of time. So, all I can say is thanks for listening.
Thanks for coming.
I've been James.
I've been Vicky.
And the curtain's down, the theatre's dark, and that was 15-minute theatre. Good night.
Good night.
If you're brave enough to have your theatre production reviewed, please contact us at 15minutetheatre@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter and please rate and review us on iTunes. Thanks for listening.